When I heard about them getting in trouble and then losing their liquor license, I made my move. My visits with Steve and Ian at 2 different federal prisons were orchestrated by their pit bull of an attorney, Roy Cohn, who was famous in his own right. Articles have been written about Studio 54, but the behind-the-scenes story has never been told. The 1998 film, 54, didn't come close. Mike Myers did an incredible job of playing Steve Rubell, but Ian Schrager was never mentioned. The film revolved around the life of a fictional bartender from New Jersey and had little to do with the story behind the club itself. I was invited to the premiere of 54, and at the after-party I asked Miramax Films' Harvey Weinstein why the film hadn't told a more accurate story. He answered, "I just couldn't do it to my friend Ian." In 2012, Ian gave an interview on Sirius 54 radio claiming, "The drug thing got blown way out of proportion, and it's kind of unfair. There were no more drugs going on at Studio 54 than there were going on at Yankee Stadium." The truth is, drugs were celebrated at Studio 54 from the very first night Steve and Ian opened the doors. The 10-foot-high neon prop known as the Man in the Moon dropped down from the ceiling, dominating the dance floor, scooping spoonfuls of cocaine up his nose throughout the evening. The beautiful Christmas gifts of cocaine in Ian's possession during the raid at Studio 54 and the stories of basement parties all belie Ian's assertion. Nicholas Pileggi's article, "Panic Hit Studio 54, documented the widespread use of drugs at Studio 54. Before opening Studio 54, Steve was unknown, and his partner Ian was just another guy practicing real estate law. After the Studio 54 effect took hold of Steve, he changed. Columnist Liz Smith summed it up. Steve went crazy. Maybe it was all the Quaaludes and cocaine or some of the other stuff he was doing, but something caused a major lapse in judgment when he bragged to New York Magazine, in an article written by Dan Dorfman, that he and Ian were making more money than the Mafia. The New York Magazine article put Studio 54 on the radar screen of the Internal Revenue Service's Criminal Division. They took one look at Studio 54's tax return for 1977 and discovered they had paid a paltry $7,000. Game over. The feds raided Studio 54, and it became clear that Steve and Ian were going down. The effect of the raid on Studio 54 plagued Ian for years, but he was able to move on and create a stellar career as an hotelier. Steve wasn't as fortunate. The Studio 54 effect destroyed him, leading to his untimely death at age 45. It almost destroyed me as well. I didn't want the party to ever end. I could have headed home at 4 or 5 each morning when we closed the doors to the club, but I didn't. Night after night, I'd jump into my limo and hit the after-hours clubs, or I'd remain at Studio 54 and hang out with a crowd of VIP regulars, actors, and an assortment of hangers-on looking for cocaine. With complimentary drinks flowing and an exotic assortment of drugs to please my guests, we'd sit around my office sharing our personal stories. Then, around 9 a.m. or so, rubbing our eyes, we'd walk out of the dark, cavernous space into the bright morning light. And while other people rushed up and down Broadway on their way to work at the start of a brand new day, we headed home from the night before. I didn't realize it at first, but by the beginning of my 3rd year at Studio 54, my body had become addicted to the drugs that supported a lifestyle of very little sleep and working day and night. I was swallowing Quaaludes and Valium each morning so I could calm down from all the cocaine I had snorted the night before and fall asleep. When I woke up each afternoon, I was so slow and groggy from all the Valium that my body demanded more and more coke to wake up. I enjoyed doing lines of coke with all the new and exciting people I was meeting, but while most of them did coke occasionally, I was doing it every single night.